All right, welcome to the Real Estate Hustlers podcast. I'm your host, Josh Appleman, the founder and CEO of Appleman Properties. Today we have my friend Russell Nova. He is the principal at MTN Investment Group, specializing in multifamily apartment investing. Russell is also a principal at Cornerstone Group, which is an active debt advisory firm with over $1 billion in secured financing on commercial and multifamily portfolios. The Cornerstone Group is located in New York with offices in Miami. Russell owns and operates over 2,600 doors with an assets under management of 250 million from general partnership to limited partnership perspective. Today, Russell will be talking to us about commercial financing as well as operations involved in owning a portfolio of properties. Russell, we're happy to have you here. If you could, just please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate you having me on board. Thank you so much. You pretty much gave the gist of who I am, but my name is Russell Nova. I am here, the principal at Cornerstone Capital, as well as MTN Investment Group. I'll dive into Cornerstone Capital. Cornerstone Capital is a debt advisory firm specializing in financing multifamily and commercial assets across the states. You are right up to date. We have financed over about $1 billion in financing. We've also online with about 85 to 100 different banks, and it grows every day as new lenders start to come on board. We have a group of about 12 individuals here at Cornerstone, from a loan coordinator to an analyst to an underwriter to a credit manager and to relationship managers, which are all geared towards individual loans. In regards to MTN Investment Group, we are an acquisition firm. We're a real estate acquisition firm, which is more or less specializing and focusing on opportunistic opportunities across the states. Currently, for years of 2022 and 2023, we will be focusing on the markets of Florida and Georgia. Currently, we have about 2,600 doors under ownership and management. That is correct.
That's beautiful, man. That's a lot of doors. I had no idea that you all had that many doors under your wing. That's impressive. It's incredible. And you all are managing those through third party?
Yeah, so we do have so for certain assets we do have a third party management, and then there's certain assets where we manage in-house. So we do have a property management company in-house. We do have an asset management company in-house. And the reason that we chose to do that is because we really keep a tight grasp on our expenses, right? You keep a tight grasp on your expenses, your NOI is higher, you sell higher, right? So that's really the game plan. But there are properties that we do own that we have third-party management.
Got it. Awesome. That's amazing. So a couple questions we want to go through here for our listeners. What makes you unique in your role at Cornerstone Capital?
Absolutely. Thank you, man. So one of the main things that we do have here at Cornerstone Capital is that we're as a team, we work as a team, right? So everyone anytime that a file comes in, anytime that a loan comes in, everyone touches it, right? So everyone is involved. There is no I know it sounds cliche, but there really is no I in team here. Everyone works on the file. So essentially when you work with us, you effectively have about 15 people that works on your file. So we do want to make sure that everyone works quick, that we get everything into the banks, and we work together with the sponsors team to ensure that we get them to the finish line. So working together as a team is definitely one of our unique items that we have here.
Nice. And having a tight-knit group in-house, that makes things go so much smoother. You don't have a breakdown in communication going from different resources. I totally get that.
I can tell you this much: if you do have a break of resource, your file will get delayed, because there are a tremendous amount of delays out of our control. So anything that we can control would just be much better for everyone.
Yep, totally agree, 100%. How did you begin purchasing multifamily properties?
So I got to tell you, it's a funny story, right? So everyone knows me as the financing guy, right? I've been financing multifamily property for the last 10 years. I love what I do. I've been doing it. I'm very good at it, right? I build those relationships. And, 5 years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I said to myself, hold on a second. I'm doing all of these great things for all of these other owner operators. And I'm seeing how they're killing it, and they're doing really well for their investors, right? And for their people. Why not try this? I already have the relationship with the banks. I've already grown that organically. Now put that on a pedestal and go out and buy these properties. So 4 years ago, I made a choice and said, okay, let me take a chance, not knowing what I was doing. I was just listening. I was going to events. I was listening to mentors, And I bought a first property about 4 years ago. It was about a 30 unit. I bought that property. And ever since then, we just became aggressively, purchasing properties. Then we ended up partnering with another group, an active group. Now you bring two powerhouses together where we acquire the properties. We do property management in-house. We do asset management in-house. And then we also have a financing arm. So team is very, very important. And that's why I stress that as well on the Cornerstone side, that team is very important. So fast forward to 2022, even though during COVID, it was one of our biggest years. In COVID, we purchased 4 properties during the 2020 and the 2021 market. So up to date now, we own about 2,600 units, and it all started with just me saying, hey, let's go out there and do something different.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And the power of partnership with other people who are have the same motivating factors and the same goals. That's huge. You get to your end goal much sooner, faster, and everyone's an extension off of each other. That's a huge strategy.
And I'll tell you like this much. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'll be the first to say that. There are many things that I don't know, and there are many things that I'm still learning. And that's why you bring on those individuals that are smarter than you, work together and achieve the same goal. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want a great product at a good price.
Absolutely, 100%. Next question: are you solo when acquiring property? And I think that kind of segues into what we were just talking about.
Yeah, man, I would never buy anything on my own. I would never buy anything on my own. Once again, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. There's so many different facets of running a multifamily property. You need to have the resources. You need to have the help. You have to have property management. You have to have asset management, right? You have to have a full, thorough underwriting team in place, right? You have to have somebody that's going to execute on the business plan. It's not as easy as to say, hey, I want to buy this property, but there's a lot of more work that comes after you purchase the property. The work starts after you purchase the property. So to answer your question is no. I only work with the team, and I have a great team at MTN Investment Group, seasoned investors, very, very great with underwriting, with marketing, with information technology. We have great resources and tech, and that's really the way to grow in any business.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions in real estate is you hear the word passive income a lot getting thrown around, and if you buy a piece of real estate, now you've just gained passive income, and it's not the case unless you come on as a limited partner and you're letting the operation team do their work, like what you had just said. I mean, there's so many different moving parts behind the scenes that makes that project either a success or a failure, and all those people are critical to the business plan. So it's everyone just coincides. It's a true business when you buy real estate. It truly is. Next question.
I couldn't agree more. 100%.
What's the latest property that you've purchased with your group?
Okay, so that's a good one. So we just purchased. We literally closed about a week ago, or was it 2 weeks ago? About a week or two ago, we purchased 70 units Class A property in Wichita, Kansas. It was a great deal. It's not a market that we jump into, but the deal was such a sweetheart of a deal that our partner already has a footprint. Hence the fact partner and how important that is. So our partner had a footprint in that market, and we purchased a Class A 70 units in Wichita, Kansas, which was professionally not managed correctly. It was a developer. He's not a manager. He just built, and during COVID, he got smashed. So we came in and we really just revamped everything with our asset management company, with our property management company taking over. So that was our latest deal that we closed. We also closed 92 units about 2 months ago in Atlanta, Georgia, which was very, very solid. Those are our last 2 deals, and we're currently right now in contract to purchase 118 units in Buckhead. So wow. We're slated to close on that one in about 2 weeks, I believe. Towards the end of August, we should be finalized on that property, which we're very excited about.
So when you're buying these properties or looking to acquire, what are you looking for in the market? What gives you the green light to go?
So the 3 things that I love: market growth, job growth, and population growth, right? I want to see that there are people that are living in that area. I want to see that the year over year rent growth is at least hitting the 9 to 10% mark, right? And I'll get to why that's important for me. right? Market growth, job growth. What is the city doing in that area, right? Are you creating jobs? Are you fixing up the airport, right? Are you building infrastructure? All of that matters. More jobs, guess what? Housing is needed, right? So housing is very important to when the city is really putting effort into building infrastructure and building jobs. So the reason that I'm so bullish on for 2022 and 2023 on Georgia and Florida is because of all of those three factors: job growth, population growth, and market growth, right? You have your rent growth as well, which is the year over year. Buckhead is actually known as the fastest growing city in the Atlanta MSA. So
Wow.
we're really excited about that one. I mean, if you know Buckhead, you know that everyone is kind of like gravitating towards that, and there's absolutely no space there. There's no land available. You can't build. You're going to pay an arm and a leg for an acre. I just double checked a few days ago. An acre, I kid you not. I know it's going to sound crazy. An acre goes for 13 million in Buckhead.
That's incredible.
It's like, what do you do with that, right? Like what do you do with that? There's no underwriting in that. You can't underwrite that.
Well, to build something on top of it that makes the payment on the land plus the payment on the development, I mean, it's got to be substantial.
Insane. 13 million for an acre of land, and that's Buckhead for you. And that's why I'm truly bullish on that market going forward. And you'll be seeing a lot more activity from our group around the Georgia and the Florida markets. That's for sure.
That's well, and that's just from companies just relocating to the Sun Belt states. Is that a part of it?
Well, you see that happening every day, right? So you have everyone kind of moving away from everywhere. You have hedge funds moving away from New York, moving away from Chicago, and moving down to the Sun Belt, right? It's great places to live. There's entertainment for the young for the young professionals. Everyone is moving down south because it's just better for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Effectively, you have less taxes, same jobs, right? You have all the corporate companies there, right? You have you have better living conditions, and you can get more bang for your buck. You can get a 3-bedroom for $1,800. In New York, for $1,800, you're gonna get smaller than a studio. I'm just giving you an example.
Wow.
So it's just the difference of living, and this is why I love those markets. And number one, I want to make sure that I can service my debt and service my property. So anytime that I can get on a plane and get to my properties within about an hour or two, I'm sold. So that's important to me. So if something happens, I get on a plane and I just come down there and I handle it.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay. How is Cornerstone helping other owner operators?
A very good question. So my main focus is always Cornerstone. So Cornerstone Capital is really the foundation of what we do, right? Our main source, our main focus here is to really ensure and guide these owner operators towards succession. I can name a handful, even more than that, of owner operators in the field that we have helped guide and really put through not only experience, but guys that are getting into the business. It's important to understand. And one of the quotes that I use and I really follow by, and I'm also trying to make people understand, is that debt is not to be feared. Debt is to be understood, right? So if you really think about that, if you borrow correct, right? If you borrow correct, especially during the COVID times, we're now in a shifting market. If you borrow correct, you will thrive. If you underwrite your performer to be moderate, right? It has to be a decent performer amount. A lot of operators, they overperform just to show higher returns on their numbers for their investors. But things like this have changed now, right? Because banks are looking at and saying, hey, you're not getting your 75 to 80 LTC anymore, right? In order for us to even lend, you have to be smart. And now banks are looking at 65, 70% max if you want a quick bridge loan, which is what people are gravitating towards anyways, right? So guiding them, doing the underwriting in-house, because no matter when you send us your underwriting, our analyst is going to re-underwrite everything. Our credit manager is going to look at it, and then I'll sign off on that. So that's where I go back to the team effort, is really just putting everything and guiding the sponsor towards the best product as of right now.
So we've got up and coming operators that are listening to us right now, and they have a different project or a different piece of real estate asset class, and they're not sure where to take it. They don't know what local bank to take it to or this or that. Cornerstone's a brokerage, which I know the benefits of a brokerage versus a regional bank or a hometown bank. Hometown banks, regional banks, they've got portfolio lending, which they might or might not match up with your piece of real estate, which they might deny the transaction, but it might not have anything to do with the person or the transaction. It's just the bank doesn't want that in their portfolio for something to lend on. Whereas your all's firm can match the project up with the right debt solution behind the scenes. Is that about right? Is that correct?
That is 100% correct. That's absolutely correct. We're aligned with about 85 different banks, right? So there's really no scenario that we can't do. There are like, for example, Airbnb, everyone loves it, right? Well, there's not many lenders that would do it. There's actually a very small, maybe 2 or 3 lenders that would actually do Airbnb properties, but we have lenders for that. And that's what makes us of value, is because of the relationships that we've grown. We have individuals in-house that travel across the states just meeting our banks and getting those relationships on board, right? So I do help a lot of the new guys on there, and I support them, and I always tell them to be aggressive. The Jake and Gino guys, right? The Rod Cleve guys, those are all guys that are coming in and they need financing. Well, guess what? We're here for them. We help all those guys. Anybody that's starting out in real estate shouldn't be afraid of going out there and really purchasing property. You don't need to take a recourse loan. There are many options that you do not have to take a recourse loan. So I urge them to give us a shout. You know, I urge them to do their homework, of course, and really get the best product for themselves.
For sure. What are you seeing right now in the capital markets with the interest rates fluctuating, all these world things that are going on? There's a lot of noise. What are you seeing out there?
It's the wild, wild west. It is not what it was a couple of years ago, right? So COVID kind of changed everything around for us, right? The banks started to take a step back. Then you have the rates rising, you have inflation rising, right? Rates are going up. The feds are looking to raise the rates all the way to the end of the year by 3.5%. Wow. SOFR is what lenders are using to lend. We're at roughly about a 2.5% as of today, right? So we still have a long way to go. Now, when you're looking at deals right now, things are not the same. You have to understand that you have to bring in a bit more dollars into it. The 75, 80% LTC, lenders are shying away from that. They're taking a step back to see what's going to happen. So if you want to be a player today and you want to do deals today, there are people that are being more aggressive than ever right now. That is because they're borrowing correct. They're raising more. They're bringing on more equity, but they're coming in and they're being aggressive. So I would tell people right now, don't stop borrowing. Go out and get aggressive. Go out and purchase properties, but borrow correctly. There's many deals out there. There are sellers that are saying, hold on a second, I want to get rid of the property. I know that I can't get the deal now. I can't get what I had to because rates are going up. And guess what? Buyers right now are retrading. It's happening. I'm seeing it every day. I'm working with a bunch of individuals. I even have a couple of deals where I was at an X amount, and now I went back to the seller and said, hey, this is not my fault. Look at the rate. Look at my look at my return on investment. It just went down. I need a cut. And ultimately we got a $1.5 million reduction in purchase price. Not because we wanted to, but because the deals are just what it is. And that's what we're seeing today. Price cuts all over the place. Rates are going up. People are still wanting to buy. People are on contract. You can do that, but just buy correct and borrow correct.
For sure, absolutely. And us over here, we've taken a kind of a step back to see what the market's going to do.
You go.
And I feel like there's some wins coming where we can get those better deals. Like you had just mentioned, you get a 1.5% cut. I mean, that's a pretty damn good haircut for the seller. But at the same time, there's elements that are in play that make it make sense. And brokers right now, they're still trying to sell a lot of these properties based on pro forma, meaning if you raise the rents to this amount, it's going to be worth X. We're going to sell it for X today. I'm seeing a lot of pricing guidance come back to where it's more favorable now too.
Well, yeah, listen, I don't blame you for taking a step back. I've spoken to a lot of owner operators. There is no right decision, right? If you're seeing that your market, the best thing for you right now to do is to take a step back, then that's really what it is, right? Because you want to see what's going to happen. And you are right. cash is king. So, if you're holding on to cash, you want to see who's not really going to be able to get to that finish line or really perform, where you can step in and get a good price on that. So, that's the power of real estate.
Absolutely. That's hanging around the rim. If the ball bounces out, we're there to catch it. So, last question I've got: what is the number one thing that you would tell our listeners that would help them to get started investing into real estate?
Get a mentor, educate yourself, right? I think that's truly important. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done it myself. A lot of people say, oh, it's not cool, or it's not fun to listen to other people. Well, guess what? It's not cool or fun when you lose millions of dollars. It's not fun at all. So if you ask me, go out and get yourself a mentor. There's tons of these individuals that are really smart, and they're willing to help. They want to help. They want to see you grow. So definitely reach out to individuals that do that. Educate yourself, get some books, read, listen to other people, join other people's teams, and really understand everything there is, because there's many steps to purchasing and, of course, financing multifamily property.
Absolutely, 100%. So, Russell, I know from personal experience, you and Cornerstone, you guys are stellar people over there. Your processes, your people, your team, everything about it's smooth. You guys do what you say you can do. And that goes right back to the man in charge, which is you. If somebody wants to move forward with that project they've been looking at, they need some financing. How can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely, thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Yes, thank you. So you can reach out on our website, which is www.csg-ny.com. You can email me at russell@csg-ny.com, and of course, you can call my cell phone at 917-559-1820. I'm sure, Josh, you're going to put all that information on there so people can go on and look at it. But remember, there's no wrong question. We're here for you. We have an entire team that's willing to underwrite, process, put everything together for you, and guide you towards that right decision for you guys.
Awesome. I know you're a busy man. We appreciate your time over here, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Josh, thanks very much. An amazing job what you're doing with your properties, man.
Appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Later,
bye.
man.